Hey there, Nate from HeyLetsGoCaravanning here, and we are having to pack up our entire setup every 3 to 4 days just to dump our grey water. What's the point? So we fixed it, and this is our setup that changed everything. As you can see here, this is our Newlands 675 Caravan with a 95 litre grey water tank mounted underneath. We currently stay at non-powered, freedom and basic sites like where we are now. We're actually parked up on a little Parko property, little farm. And with myself, Soph, and our 2 girls doing dishes and showering, the grey water tank fills up really fast as a family. So we're having to pack this entire setup, put the caravan on the back of the truck, find a grey water dump station, unload that grey water and bring it all back into this beautiful spot. So this really breaks the caravan vibe, and yes, that is us. So this is our solution. So we've got one 200 litre freshwater bladder, one 200 litre grey water bladder, our freshwater hose, our grey water hose, one big pump for the grey water, one little pump for our fresh water, and this is our just 12 volt power cable to run the pumps. So by having these, it allows us to offload our waste back into those bladders. So we unload the grey water into the grey water bladder, go down to the dump station, get rid of all the grey and the black water, and fill up the fresh water bladder and bring that back. So we don't have to park up, we don't have to move the caravan, we can just put it all in the back of the truck. Pretty cool, eh? So a gear breakdown of what we've got. So, like I said before, this is our freshwater bladder. Just got a simple ball valve just here, which goes currently off and on, and a standard hose connector tap just like that. So we use our freshwater hose, connect that onto the standard hose with our standard hose connectors, round and round and round, and into our freshwater bladder. And then once this is all full, we just change the hoses back around, put the pump the water from the bladder through the pump and then back into the caravan like so. And so for our grey water, we have this hose here which connects straight onto the caravan via a cam lock coupling, round and around the hose, and then onto this awesome contraption of hose and connector. Then that connects onto our 12 volt masquerading pump, nice big outlet to deal with all the bits and pieces from washing dishes and whatnot. Then the cam lock coupling connects onto this grey lock coupling here, through the hose and then into our bladder by another cam lock coupling, open and close. So just pump it into this bladder. Then when we get to the dump station, we simply just connect the hose back onto it and then straight into the dump station. Now to fill up our caravan using our bladder, we've got obviously our bladder nice and full, got a nice little short piece of hose to our little 12 volt pump, our power cord running off into the Ranger, and then a hose run all the way down like so, and up to Chloe. Put the hose in, push it, there we go, like so. And we go make sure the hose is all nice and straight. Open the valve, and turn the pump on. Like so. And this is how we unload our grey water tank. Got our grey tank under there like so, with our black dump hose going down like so into our masquerading pump along this hose here, around the spiral, all the way up and into the back of our truck. Now this is a 200 litre bladder as well, so this should be able to hold 2 lots of what the Caravan holds, but for today we're just going to decant about 100 litres into it. Now here we are unloading our grey waste into the dump station. Here's our bladder with a tap and a hose all running down into the dump station. Now this is so much easier than having to drag the caravan, the girls, the dogs all the way down just to unload our waste into the caravan. Pretty cool. So the real life test of a setup like this is always how long can we stay in one spot. Like I said before, our limit seems to be about 2 to 3 days before we either have to unload grey, get fresh water, or dispose of our waste. 2 to 3 days seems to be about max before we have to go visit a dump station. Any challenges? Pump speed is always going to be, is definitely an issue. For our freshwater tank, our freshwater bladder, it has a transfer speed, it's 200 litres, and a pump transfers at about 6 litres per minute. So quick math, it works out to be about half an hour by the time it pumps that 200 litres of fresh water back into the caravan. Battery usage, it works off our 12 volt cigarette lighter, so it currently just plugs into the Ranger's 12 volt plug. And random fact about Rangers is that our 12 volt plug stays live for about half an hour to about an hour or so once the key actually turns off, so it makes it real handy for pumping situations. Spills and leakage, there's always going to be a few spills and leakage. I always try and keep them down to a minimum because where we stay we don't want to dispose of our waste incorrectly on the ground or anything like that. Pros and cons of our setup. Pros, no pack down. We can stay in our locations much longer. It's way much more convenient. We're not having to go to visit dump stations in the middle of the night just to get rid of our waste. Cons of the setup, extra gear. Yes, it is extra gear, but by the time you put it, account for 2 bladders, 2 pumps, all their hoses and bits and pieces like that, it is more stuff to carry in a very tight situation. Setup time of this setup, probably about 5 minutes. By the time you get all the bladders out, all their hoses, all the pumps out, plug it all, connect all together, it's definitely a bit of an issue. And of course, it always ends up with how much does this setup cost. We were lucky, we got the setup at a very discounted rate from a traveller next to us. He got it all set up for us. But I'll pop a link down below for the stuff that I have found online, so you can follow the setup also. Now, who's this for? It's for families, freedom campers, and people that want to stay off-grid for much longer. Having to pack this entire setup up just to take it down to the dump station is a real inconvenience, especially when you can stay in beautiful places like this. This has honestly changed how we caravan midweek and on the weekends. Now, would you like a setup like this? Have you got a better system like this? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like what I've done here, comment, subscribe, and I've got some links down below if you would like a setup like this. Okay, that's all we've got time for in this one. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share if you've got this a very similar setup like this. But I shall catch you in the next one. Bye.